Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Outta Boston here, aka the King of Boston. Today we're back with a little bonus episode of Out of the Park Baseball here. So I had talked about this. This is my 2087 Red Sox save that I have been going on with for a while, and I talked about this in a different OOTP video, and a bunch of people said they would want to see this because I guess people are curious to see like what this game looks like in 2087, and I think some people are just curious to I don't know, see how I've done and stuff. But anyway, so this is 2087, and I guess I'll start up by showing you the current team so we can look at the lineup and the pitching staff. So as usual, team is freaking stacked, and I'll sort of talk about why I've been so good in this save a little bit later. But first, I'll just sort of show you guys the team, show you some of the history, the retired numbers, Hall of Fame, stuff like that. And then I guess I'll talk about like strategies and stuff a little bit, maybe the second half of the video. But so we'll just go down the team. We've got our starting catcher, Antonio Gonzalez. Actually, we can go down this way. It'll be easier. So we got Antonio Gonzalez here. He's 27. We picked him up in a trade when he was a prospect, and he's come up with us now. He's been in the organization for 7 years or so. Our backup catcher, Ismael Trejo. Augustus Asconcio is another guy we've developed. I think, yeah, he was an international free agent signing. Big, 6'5" first baseman, power hitter. He's been very good for us. Antonio Nunez is a backup first baseman we picked up off waivers. Jose Ramos is a prospect we traded for a couple years back, and now he's starting to come up. Hopefully he can take over second base for us. Jose Rosas, temporary starting shortstop. We have a prospect we're going to call up, but we're waiting for the first 15 or so days of the season to go by so we can get that extra year service time. Jeff Colby's the guy we traded for last year. Long term, I want to play him at first base. I think that's actually where I have him playing now, but yeah, hopefully he's going to be a beast. Pepe Delgado's backup shortstop for us, backup infielder. Jose Gonzalez is a guy we just picked up in a trade this last offseason. He's really good. He's coming off of an 8.5 win season, but he's a free agent after this year, so we got to try and lock him up to an extension. There's no way he's going to opt into that $14.4 million player option. Miguel Angel Cascavita is another guy we traded for when he was a prospect, and he won Rookie of the Year last year in 132 games. And Cristobal Gustoso, another guy we traded for when he was a prospect. He's turned into a beast, but he is definitely full of himself. So that, I don't know if I'm thinking about moving him later. I'm going to sort of see how this season goes on. I've been having like a team chemistry issue lately, and so I want to see how this season goes. And if our chemistry is still kind of poor, then I might look to move Gustoso eventually. Lujan is a young guy. I think right now he's our backup outfielder, but he could be a starter in the future because he definitely has the ratings to do it. And Jorge Maez is a starting center fielder. I think, I guess he was an international free agent signing. And, yeah, that is that. Pitching. So Chris Brown is he's the best pitcher in the league. And we traded for him when he was a prospect. He was the number one prospect in baseball, I think. We got him. Chad Chandler is a guy we got from when he was a prospect from LA. I think this was we gave them Orlando Mendoza, who's a knuckleballer. Because, I don't know, I think we just signed an international free agent to take Mendoza's place in the rotation. So we got Chandler as a prospect. Darren Daly is another guy we traded for when he was a prospect. McMucken is a guy we traded for when he was, I think, a couple years into the league. Oh, no, I guess not. But he's been with us for a while. He's unfortunately kind of on the back half of the decline of his career, but he's been with us for a while. He was looking like he might get his number retired someday. I'm not so sure if that's still going to happen, but anyway... Juan Mendoza is the guy we just picked up from Toronto the other day. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's only 28, and hopefully he can help us out. And this is just our bullpen. I don't really know if anyone cares too much about that. And then on the disabled list, we have Chris Clark, who's going to have Tommy John surgery, but I just picked him up from San Francisco, too. I was trying to revitalize my rotation a little bit. I had a bunch of young guys, and I had sort of excess pitching prospects, so I flipped a couple of them for this guy, and that's also how I got Mendoza from the Blue Jays. And yeah, this guy's had 7-win seasons the last couple of years. I was really hoping he would help out, but gets Tommy John surgery, so first year with us is pretty much down the tube. But alright, so that is what the team looks like right now. It is pretty stacked. I think our preseason prediction have us at 100 wins. And we'll take a look at the history here. And as you can see right here, ever since we took over in 2015, we've pretty much been dominant. Obviously it was kind of slow starting out, and even these first couple of years, I actually thought I underperformed a bit because I couldn't really get the team. Like, here we had 2 seasons, 2017, 2018. I figured I'd be making the playoffs at that point, or by that point, but we really struggled to at first. And then in 2019, we finally broke through and won a championship in just our second postseason appearance. under this new management, I guess. And then 2021 was a really special run because we got into the playoffs on the last day. We ended up having to win a game 163. I think we were like 5 games out with maybe like 8 games to play or something. We came all the way back, and then we ended up going all the way through the playoffs and winning the World Series. And then that started the streak from 2019 to I think it was 2054, where we made the playoffs every year. And then this year, well, obviously you can see our run differential was a little bit better than our actual record, so we got a little unlucky, and yeah, things just sort of fell apart on us that year. But then we rebounded, and really lately I've been on a tear, because I've really just started getting into this like whole. I mean, I wouldn't call it like a sort of cheesy tactic or whatever, but like, you know, I'm at the point where I basically just hoard any kind of assets I can get and then use them to trade for the best players and the best prospects. That's why you saw so many of the guys on my team were sort of I got them when they were top prospects, because often what I'll do is, so I mean, to start, you know, like when we get to like international free agency and stuff, and you know, because I'm the Red Sox and I have such a big budget, and I have so much excess cash that I don't spend on my payroll, I often just hoard the international free agency market, and really just do whatever I can to collect as many assets as possible, build up, you know, even more so than a top-heavy farm system, a very deep farm system, and, you know, try to get plenty of guys with lots of value. And you can see I got tons of guys with value right here, and I could use 4 of these guys or 5 of these guys to flip for, you know, whoever I wanted practically at this point, although it's probably not going to be worth it. And this is the guy I plan on letting take over at shortstop shortly. He is a first-round draft pick a couple years back, but anyway. So yeah, that's you know, that's really how I've I've been so effective in this save or whatever, because you know, it's really easy to collect assets when you have such a big budget like the Red Sox, and you know, you can do things like hoard international free agency, and then you know, once you get all these assets, you can flip them for whatever player you want. And you know, it's kind of cheesy, but at the same time, like, you know, I'm in 2085, so I sort of stopped giving a crap a while ago, you know, if you know what I mean. So, but anyway, we've won 33 championships, which is, I think, so in real life, the Red Sox have won, I want to say like 6 or 7. We can count them up. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. So they won 5, and then they won 3 recently. So that's 8. So we've won 25 of the 33 championships. And if we go to manager's office, yeah, so we've been managing for 73 years, and we have 25 championships, 68 postseason appearances, and I won Manager of the Year 52 times. Which is pretty ridiculous. But as you can see, so we have the top budget, but we only have the 13th payroll, which means we have all that excess budget, and you can see how much money we have to spend on free agents still. And that's all just going to get poured into the draft so we can, you know, get guys who have high draft demands. We're going to pour it into international free agency so we can just collect assets and then, you know, use them to flip later. But anyway, so yeah, this is right now we're at the end of spring training in 2087. We're about to head into the regular season soon, but I'll show you some of the numbers we've retired, and I'll also show you the corresponding like Hall of Fame and stuff too. So the rule for me when I've retired numbers in this is the guy had to have made the Hall of Fame, and then the rest is kind of arbitrary. The Hall of Fame is just sort of the first qualifier, and then it's, you know, do I feel like you did a bulk of your Hall of Fame resume while you were in Boston, or, you know, do you do it elsewhere? So we'll take a look. So obviously I retired David Ortiz's number. He ended up retiring after 2018. Todd Peterson, so he's actually a real player. He I think I don't know if he was in the 2015 draft. He might be in the 2016 draft. I think in this game he was in the 2015 draft. And we actually traded Christian Vasquez for him, and when he was in the Tigers farm system and he was a top prospect, because I was at the point where I had both Blake Swihart and Christian Vasquez as very, like, they were like both 4.5 or 5-star players. So I got Todd Peterson out of it. He became a beast. Wow, nice voice crack right there. I retired Roger Clemens' number because I feel like they're going to do that someday, because they never give out number 21. They didn't give it to Rick Porcello this year. And yeah, I just figured they're going to retire his number at some point. Juan Carlos Matos is a guy that was actually, I would say, underappreciated during his Boston career. And he made the Hall of Fame, and he actually only played for the Red Sox. It was kind of a short career, but he was really effective, and I was pretty surprised to see him actually make the Hall of Fame. So put his number up there. Brendan Rodgers, he's the actual number 2 overall draft pick, or the number 3 overall draft pick, I want to say. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3. with the Rockies this past year. And he played for us for only 6 or 7 years. I think that's 7 years, but I think he won like 3 MVPs in that time. He was really good for us. I'll show you his resume later. Retired Manny's number, Pedro's number. Tony Thomas was the stud catcher we got from the Nationals. He was a beast. He's one of the best players to ever come through here. He made the Hall of Fame in the first ballot. Jose Pina was a pitcher, international free agent we got. Played for a long time, was very, very effective. Wade Boggs, I retired his number because there's a big debate going around on whether Wade Boggs' number should be retired or not. And even though they've given out the number 26 a lot, like to even guys like Brock Holt, I still think that based on what he did in Boston, he should have his number retired. And then Jim Lowry got his number retired, so he's the guy we also traded from Detroit. We traded, I don't even know how to say it. I'm just talking way too fast right now. We got him from Detroit, and when he was a prospect, and he was one of the best pitchers to ever come through here. He won 5 Cy Youngs, I think, and a zillion titles. And yeah, I think I'm going to base my Road to the Show character off of him, actually. I was debating between him and Todd Peterson, but I think I'm going to do Jim Lowry because, I don't know, I played that more recently. David Bernard was the guy we traded for, and he was the top prospect from Seattle, and then he became a beast for us. He went to the Hall of Fame. Spike Brooks, and these are guys that actually had their numbers retired automatically, and Tommaso Elise did not wear 68. He actually wore number 31. I'm going to have to change that. But, yeah, Spike Brooks we picked up from San Diego at the trade deadline one year. And my neighbor's dogs are barking like crazy. I apologize if you can hear that. But look at that. He had ERAs under 3 pretty much every year in his career except for the last 2 and his second season. So he was a freaking beast. And he was from Fall River, Mass. He was kind of a local guy. He only won 2 Cy Youngs, but he won 6 championships. I think 5 of those were with us or something like that. Even won an MVP one year. So he was a beast. He got into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. And Tommaso Elise. Oh, whoops. Let's save. So Tommaso Elise was a outfield prospect. I think we got as an international free agent. He played almost his entire career with us. Broke out when he was young, and then was a really steady player after that. I think he's going to end up making the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he should. Although I don't think it'll be first ballot. But yeah, he definitely deserved to have his number retired. He was a durable guy for us. Always played 150 games. Very consistent player, and he was an absolute beast. So those are our retired numbers. I'll show you guys the Hall of Fame. Player info, I want to say it is, or league history. Yeah, Hall of Fame. All right, and this will take a second to load, but yeah, I can sort of pick out the guys that came through to us. I guess I'll start by showing you guys who actually made the Hall of Fame from like the current sort of set of players. So we'll go back. Let's do sortable. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, we'll do by age. Okay. So of the guys that are sort of or happened around the current time. So obviously Pedro got in 2015. Then we saw Roy Halladay, Adam Wainwright get in, Justin Verlander. Oh, this is only pitchers actually. Let's go all players. What am I doing here? Go up around here. Okay, so yeah, Pedro, Chipper Jones, Sam Manny get in, Todd Helton, Ichiro, Vlad Guerrero, Derek Jeter, David Ortiz, Alex Rodriguez, Carlos Beltran, Roy Halladay, Adrian Beltre, Matt Holliday. Albert Pujols, Wainwright, Cano, Verlander, Braun, Cabrera. So pretty much the names you'd expect, although I guess there's some surprises like Ryan Braun. I don't really quite know if he's going to be a Hall of Famer in real life, but Kershaw, Kimbrel, Shelby Miller. Shelby Miller had a really good career. Yeah, we can click on him. Yeah, he ended up being a beast for Atlanta. So he was tough to deal with those first couple of years. But other than that, so then we see some of the younger names like Yasiel Puig, Chris Bryant got in. He had a really good career. Mike Trout. Jose Fernandez played for us for a couple of years at the end. I think we got him from Colorado. And yeah, he was really good. I think he played 4 seasons for us or 5 seasons. And he was really, really good in those. And he helped us win a couple titles, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I think he won 1 championship with us. So that was pretty cool. Who else? Let's keep going. Joey Gallo made it. Addison Russell, Zeke Pinkham, Justin Hooper. So Justin Hooper is a guy who went number 1 overall in the 2015 draft, I think. Yeah, in this OOTP thing. I never even know what to call it. And he was a beast. He won 4 Cy Youngs, an MVP, he won 4 titles. And he played for us at the end of his career. He came, I guess he came after Jose Fernandez, but he was not great for us at the end, but he was really good in the playoffs. Him and Todd Peterson were like a really dynamic 1-2 combo in the playoffs, and that propelled us to a couple titles there at the end. So I think we three-peated there with him and Todd Peterson. So that was pretty cool. And here is Todd Peterson. So as you can see, majority of his career with us. He was a great, great pitcher. Um, let's see, he won 2 Cy Youngs, an MVP, and 6 titles. So pretty darn cool. And then here's Brendan Rodgers. So you can see here he was really good for us when we got him. 4 7-win seasons, and then a 6-win season and 2 5-win seasons with us. He won an MVP, and he was a 2-time title winner. I think he won that MVP with us. Yeah, it was really good. And he was actually on Colorado in this game, too. I didn't even remember that. I thought he was on Washington or something, but I guess I was wrong. Let's go back. Okay, here's Juan Carlos Matos. So, yeah, here's a guy who's, like, pretty underwhelming, or underrated, I guess, because I really never imagined him making the Hall of Fame when I had him. Like, he was always pretty good, but never really that great. I'm not even sure how he got in the Hall of Fame, because his metrics aren't that good, but, like, whatever. I don't know. It worked out, and other than that, let's see, who else? Jake Myers played for us for a couple years. He was a catcher for Detroit. Dave Kenny, so this is a guy we actually traded when he was a prospect, and then he went on to become one of the best pitchers ever. I wouldn't say best pitchers ever. Even his Hall of Fame metrics are actually a bit low, but he won a couple Cy Youngs, I think. Yeah, he won 3 Cy Youngs, so here it is. We drafted him in the 6th round, and then we ended up trading him along with this other pitching prospect and this outfield prospect for Edison Alzueta, who was pretty good for us for a couple years. He was this big masher. You see 920 OPS the year before we got him when he was 24, so I thought it was a really good trade at the time, but Dave Kenny ended up really becoming a good pitcher. We definitely could have used him. So that was one of the really few times we actually like really lost the trade. Rudy Cox was a closer for us for a couple years. I think Esposito played for us for a couple years. Steve Scott was on our team for 4 or 5 years. Eric Barr came through at one point. Who else? Tony Thomas. So here's Tony Thomas. So we got him from Washington, and look at this, 9-win season, 6.4, then another 9-win season, 8-win season. He was ridiculous. OPS was over 1,000 a couple years. He was not a bad defensive catcher either. He probably won like 7 MVPs, I think. He won 4 MVPs. Okay, close enough. 2-time champion. Yeah, the one thing with Tony Thomas is I remember that whole era we only won 2 titles, and that was kind of disappointing because when you have someone that good, should be able to do pretty well. But anyway, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. P. Lowry also played for us for majority of his career, but I never felt he was that good. I consider retiring his number, but he was sort of good, not great for the majority of his career with us, so decided against it. I don't even think he ever won an MVP for us or anything. Hector Gutez played for us for a couple years at the end of his career. He was never really that good. I think we signed him when he was a free agent. And that didn't really, work out, I guess. David Bernard. Here's David Bernard. So he played. Yeah, I actually had to manually put him in the Hall of Fame. Like, he wasn't getting in on his first couple tries, so I started doing the manual voting, and I think I started around this year, and then eventually got it all the way up so he would get in, because I thought it was ridiculous that his metrics weren't even that high. Because look at, he put up 8-win seasons, 7-win seasons right in his prime. He was a beast for us. He was a Gold Glove winner, career 809 OPS. Combined with that, I think he probably won an MVP at some point. I guess he didn't, but let's see. He was a 5-time Gold Glove winner, 3-time Silver Slugger, and he won 6 titles. I don't know. I thought he was pretty underrated, I guess. So here's Jim Lowry, the guy I'm probably going to base my road to the show off of. Here's his career. So he spent the first 2 years in Detroit, and then his second year in Boston, he really broke out. And I think he won, 4 Cy Youngs, 12-time All-Star, 8-time championship winner. Just an absolute beast. And he was a joy to play with. Ismael Padilla played 4 or 5 years with us, I think. We got him from Toronto. He was good, not great for us, though. Who else? Oh, here's Jose Pina. So here's another guy who played his entire career with us. He's pretty good for a couple of years, then sort of dropped off near the end, but still a pretty good player, and he played his entire career with us, so I figured he deserved to get retired, get his number retired. Ron Brista played for us for a year or 2. Jim Harris played a couple of years for us. Luis Hernandez is a guy I thought about retiring his number because he actually was really consistent for us after we got him from Cleveland as a free agent, and he ended up getting into the Hall of Fame, which I didn't think was going to happen, but I don't know. I kind of debated about retiring his number. Sean Lopez played for us for, 5-6 years. Kevin Lacey was with us. We actually traded Kevin Lacey to L.A. in a big trade for a guy that's going to get his number retired shortly. That's going to be this trade. We got Pepe Gonzalez. So we got Gonzalez when he was 26 from L.A., and then he just became an absolute beast for us. So he retired only a couple years ago. When he gets into the Hall of Fame in a year or two, I'm going to retire his number. He was number 52 for us. I actually gave him Eduardo Rodriguez's number because that's who I always thought of whenever he pitched. He won 8 titles, 16-time All-Star, 6-time Cy Young winner. So he won a couple of those with LA, but he won a bunch of those with us too. So anyway, that is pretty much it for the Hall of Fame, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Spike Brooks, here he is. Eric Brown also played with us for a couple of years. You can see there's a common history of guys who made the Hall of Fame of at least coming through Boston for a couple of years, because I've always been able to get the best players, really. And here's how the league. I've been kind of careful about the league evolution. I have let the league expand, so there's now 36 teams in baseball. Once it got to 32 and then 34, I figured the best way to sort of top it off would be to get to 36, because then you'd have 6 teams in each division, and it would kind of even itself out. I actually enjoyed playing with 32 teams though for a while, because there was no interleague play, so I never had to worry about setting my lineups for the NL games or whatever, which is kind of nice. But you can see here's the 3 times the league expanded, and there's some pretty ridiculous team names like the Charlotte Samurai. And then the disabled list has changed a bunch of times. At one point, the free agency service time minimum increased to 7 years, which was kind of interesting. And then that went back down to 6 recently. But there's like a 40-year period where we had 7-year service time. The active roster actually moved up to 26 at one point, so I often had an extra reliever. Disabled list has changed a bunch of times: 11 days, 15 days, 8 days, 12 days, 8 days. So anyway, not too much really to see there. And whoops, I didn't mean to click on this. I think I'm gonna cut this part out because I don't want to waste too much time in this video. Alright, so anyway, I guess I will just show you some of my settings for this as well. So when I simulate, I make sure that I don't get notifications for trade proposals, because they're all really stupid in this game, or like injuries on minor league teams. I have a bunch of this set so that the computer handles a lot of this stuff, like setting budgets, firing minor league personnel and stuff like that. Minor league signings and all that stuff. Usually just let the computer do that. What else? This is all just stuff we can do to the current team. History, manager history. So yeah, I guess this is you can see a lot of our OOTP scores or whatever, over 100. It looks like this is the year we didn't make the playoffs, and I think we made the playoffs every year since then. Heck to Steez. Oh my god, excuse me. And you can see all the times we won manager of the year down here. Pretty ridiculous. It doesn't even fit on the screen actually, which is pretty absurd. And our career winning percentage is 641, and we've made $166 million off of being the manager and GM. You can see our salaries actually plateaued here for a while. Oh, and the team owners changed a bunch of times. Oh, yeah, I guess here's we got 3,000 wins. Oh, yeah, we've won the hitting Triple Crown. We've won the pitching Triple Crown 6 times. First time was with Todd Peterson, most recently with Jerry McMuckin. We swept in the World Series. We've done a bunch of this stuff. Here's another guy who might get his number retired by us one day. He played for a while with us and was really, really good. Then he got hurt a lot at the end of his career, and I decided not to re-sign him after he was 35. And I don't know if he's going to make the Hall of Fame or not. He might. It's not going to show. Not going to show his metrics or whatever, but that's alright. What about if we go to his BNN page? No, I guess not. But anyway, so yeah, we got him for a while for most of his career. I think we traded another guy we traded for his prospect. And you can see we've won all these awards and stuff. Good stuff like that. GM transaction history. So here's all the moves we've ever made. First move ever made, minor league free agent signing. First draft pick, Colby Allard, who I think got picked by the Braves in real life. He was a reliever for us for a while, but he was pretty bad. So we traded him away pretty quickly. And yeah, what else? What other moves do we make early on? Logan Allen. Yeah, we got a pretty strong farm system at the beginning. Yeah, these are actually guys we picked in the other save. I knew about Tristan Beck. I didn't realize I picked Jeremiah Burks, but there you go. Stephen Kolek. So, anyway, what else to see? Let's do. I guess we already looked at history. Let's look at MLB league settings. I don't really know if there's anything really to see here. Global settings. I have everything on the 20 to 80 scale, as that is the way to do it. Team info. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there isn't really much else to see. Take a look at some of our top prospects. Jose Ramos, Jeff Colby, those are guys who are actually on the team. And Angel Cascavida is still technically a prospect, which I don't quite get. Chad Chandler. We got both these pitching prospects in the same trade for I forget who, but yeah, they both are not highly rated by our head scout, but I've learned to sort of trust the OSA ratings that sometimes too, because they can be pretty important to look at. But yeah, anyway, so I guess, most wins we've ever had in a season was 124 in 2044. We didn't even win the title that year, of course. Best run differential came in 2075, and we did win the title. Look at the years that we've actually won. So, we 5-peated there. That was a really good string. That was towards the end of Spike Brooks and Pepe Gonzalez's career. And then we actually won our 6th and 7 years, and then we won a couple years after that. And we've been to the World Series each of the last 2 years, but we've lost each time, I think, to the Nationals and Cubs. It might actually have been the last 3 years, I think, because I think we lost to the Nationals twice, and we've lost to the Cubs. Here's another, a little 4-peat right there, right before we missed the playoffs that one year. 3-peated here. This was when we had Todd Peterson and Justin Hooper. And, won titles throughout. But, yeah, I think that is pretty much all I have to show you guys. You can see we've got our market size up to astronomical. Fan loyalty is very good. Our owner now is Joe Henry, who I think is like the 4th generation of Henrys or something. I think we had John Henry Jr., then we had Eduardo Henry, and now we have Joe Henry. So the Henry family still meddling in baseball operations, like always. Although this guy's pretty hands-off, which is nice. And, yeah, I don't know, we can look at budget history or something. It doesn't really matter. Counting salaries. It's all our salaries. So you can see we have pretty high player payroll, 149. Not too high, but certainly not the lowest. Scouting director, Luis Pena. Pretty solid scouting director. Player development, here's all our top prospects. Personnel. Yeah, we've got pretty good coaches. And here I am. Legendary reputation, of course. Info. Alright, so for the 3rd straight OOTP video, the last part of the live commentary audio gets cut out for some reason. I don't know why. I even used a different audio recording software this time around, and it still happened. So I guess it's an issue with iMovie. So I guess next time I'll just let the audio recording run for an extra 5 minutes or so after I'm done with the video, and hopefully that'll solve the issue. But anyway, so this video is wrapping up as it is. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you did enjoy, and I'm out. Peace.